Okay, so today we're going to talk about how to use styles in Photoshop, as well as, basically me showing off these styles that I've created and are one of my top sellers out of all the digital products that I've designed and made. This is great. It's a resource for other designers so they can kind of mimic some of the styles that I use and have that glam look. So for those of you who don't know me, my name's Erica Glam. I have been a full-time digital product creator for, like 6-7 years now. I also teach how to start your own digital product business, Etsy business, as well as I jump over in the beauty side as well and coach to beauty professionals and how to really grow and sustain their service-based business and grow into six figures. So I love helping women, really just helping them make more money in the things that I know how to make more money in. So today we're going to really jump into one of my favorite tools that I use. I actually make a lot of my own styles myself. I don't use other people's resources. I make my own resources. And so this one is actually available in my shop. It is one of my most favorited things, and we have quite a few people who also love it as well. So really quickly, let's jump into the product itself to see what it comes with. So I actually provide you this awesome PSD file, this Photoshop file. If you're the type of person who likes to just take a style and right click and copy that style and then apply it to the style that you want, okay? So basically, first, let's talk about how to install this ASL file, okay? So I have a mouse. I do use a MacBook Pro. It's one of my computers that I have. I actually have a lot of computers, kind of like computer obsessed. But for what we are working on right now is a MacBook Pro. I do have a mouse for it, so I do have the ability to right click. So what I will do, but if you don't, that's okay. You can literally actually go over to File, and you can go over to Open With. And that's where you're going to click, Other, and you're going to go to Applications and open it up in Photoshop. So basically, you would open up the Photoshop file, click Photoshop 2023 app, double click it, and click Open, and it will open up into Photoshop. I already have it installed. Another thing you can do is you can I did this when I was when I first started designing. I'm self-taught, okay? So, and for those of you who think you can't make money being self-taught or being a self-taught designer, I made 6 figures my first year designing. It's totally doable. Don't be afraid to do things your way, in the way that you understand them. I know that for me in the beginning, I was really scared to do things the wrong way. I would join these Facebook groups where there were girls who went to school for it, and there was these proper ways to do things. Don't try not to overthink. And that's really why I provided this PSD files, because you know what? In the beginning for me, I focused mainly on what I could do and what I could understand. I didn't necessarily understand, or it took me a long time to try and find the styles section in Photoshop because I wasn't really, I just wasn't there yet where I just understood it the way I do now. So I really leaned on PSD files, so don't be afraid to just pull up my PSD file whenever you need it. There is also this styles window that pops up if you want to be able to, and you can actually clip this if you want, in this section, so it's easy to get to. But once it's installed, which, by the way, like I said, all you're doing is you're just right-clicking, Other, find that app, and click Open, and it will actually, I don't want to install it again, but it will open it up into Photoshop, okay? And at that point, you're going to see the styles folder with everything that you need. So let's talk about using both for a second. Both the PSD, whichever one you like, they're the same thing, by copying and pasting or by grabbing them in your styles section. I actually grabbed a few of my old, client projects that I've done. So, for instance, okay, so we've got this cute revenue chart that I did for a lash artist. So let's say that we've got this nice, cool this effect section that I was using for the lash tech money part. Okay, so let's say that we actually wanted to use a different one of these. Let's say that we wanted to use glitter. Okay, so let's start with the Photoshop file. So for the Photoshop file, what you're going to do, see where it says gold glitter? You can actually just select it and select gold glitter. Make sure that this tool is chosen, the select tool, or I'm sorry, the move tool. Okay, and then you're going to go ahead and click that little arrow right there. See that effect section? You're going to right click again, and you're going to copy layer style. And what that's going to do is when you click on that and you click right click again and you click paste layer style, it's going to give you that layer style. Okay, so that's one way to do it. Okay, another way to do it is to go into your styles once they're installed and going and finding it and then, you know, applying it. Okay, so that is the other way to do it. This one's nice because it actually installs it. However, like I said, for me in the beginning, I was not as tech savvy with Photoshop, so I personally leaned on Photoshop files instead. So you can choose which one you prefer. I also want to mention too that the folder does come with a text how-to when you are installing. So if you don't know how to install a layer style, there's these little step-by-steps along with this video are included. Okay, so that way you don't have to stress about that. So let's get rid of that really quickly. But this is how you basically use a layer style. So it's that simple. So at this point, you know, the thing is that if let's say that you're using a layer style from either really, the style folder here or here, you have to remember that different dimensions can affect the style. So you're going to need to manipulate it a little bit, okay? So for me, the Lash Tech Shmoney, now the stroke's a little thick. So we want to make sure that the stroke looks good enough for this as well as the pattern. So, you know, do we want to pull that pattern down and make it a little bit more a little smaller? What do we want to do here, right? So if it was me, I'd probably make it at like 50%. So this is always going to range, okay? So you just want to make sure that you're always adjusting it and not just relying on the just clicking it one time and making it good to go, because it really is going to depend on, you know, the size of the file. And the reason is because this is a raster file. Photoshop is a raster based software, which means that this glitter pattern that was created by me, this is a certain sized file, meaning that let's say that you throw this into a super large file, like let's say you're making a retractable banner. You may find that the glitter is, you know, maybe not as clear or something, although this one is pretty clear for that. I use it all the time. My point is that at some point you're going to be limited because it's raster based. Okay, so that's the thing about Photoshop that you have to understand versus like Illustrator. But again, you know, for a flyer like this or something, it's perfect. It's fine. This is a digital flyer. This is something she's going to use for promotion, to push her education or, you know, her lash courses so that she can get lash techs to work with her and get certified. And so this is perfectly the exact thing that you need for this type of a thing. Okay, so we could also jump over to like one of the other designs that I made for her. You know, let's say that I didn't want this border to be a purple glitter. Let's say I wanted it to be this purple gradient. We could do that. And then do you see here, like I said, how this gradient is going diagonal? We want to adjust that. So we're going to go over here to the gradient overlay, double click that. And we're going to adjust the angle, okay? So for me, I want this angle to go straight across. I'm going to click 0. You see how that goes straight across now? I'm also going to take that stroke. I'm going to move it to the outside. And now you can kind of see this a lot better. And then once we've got that, we're just going to copy that layer style. We're going to apply it to this one as well. And then there we go. We've got this nice, pretty border that we've got. You know, this nice glam purple border. Let's say we want to adjust this header area, okay? So we've got some pinks to work with that are very similar to hers. let's play with that. Okay, so one thing I'll say is these are not 2 layers, they're 1 layer. So we're gonna wanna adjust the way this looks again. For me, what I would do here is I would probably duplicate this layer. I'm gonna go ahead and on the top layer, I'm gonna delete hair tea. And on the bottom layer, I'm gonna delete naturally herbal. Now they're both 2 different layers and they've got our new style on them. Okay, so as you can see, before it was like light and now it's like this bright brightness in the middle. And we can even go further and adjust that. So like we could jump into naturally herbal. We could pull that down a little bit. Hair tea, we can pull that down a bit too. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope that it gave you a lot of, ease when it comes to being able to use layer styles and really just make things easier on yourself until you get really comfortable with things, just like I did. I started off with other people's styles and then I went in and as soon as I really kind of understood what I liked and stuff and understood the process, I created my own. And that is now what other designers use. I have others as well, like metallic and neon and stuff. But definitely, if you need some styles to help you out as well, I'll leave the link to this product in the comments section and you can check it out. So like I said, don't forget to head over to my Etsy store, check out this product, and pick it up for your arsenal.